What's going on, you guys? It's your Huggable Hipster here, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be discussing patches, and I've put off this video for too long for the Soulsborne Academy. I wanted to wait till I had more evidence, some more evidentiary support, if you will, to be able to back my claims of why I believe that patches is not only, hypothetically speaking, a time traveler, but he means different things for different games, and I'll get into that. The time travel thing, I think I might actually discard because that's such a loose claim, but also the only reason why I think patches might be a time traveler, the only thing I have to support that claim at all whatsoever. In Demon Souls, whenever we talk with patches, and this is very close to the end of the game, he said something, and I'm going to probably botch this, and I'm paraphrasing right now. He said to an extent, who else are you going to find that'll be willing to push you down a hole? Which he's done in every single Souls game. He's done it in Dark Souls 1. I know it was in Dark Souls 3. It was in Elden Ring. We have patches in Bloodborne as a spider. So, he's kicked us down many a hole. That's the only claim that I have to back up him being a time traveler, because even in the very first Souls game, Demon Souls, he knew that, oh, who else is going to push you down a hole? How does he know that if, he hasn't already met you in previous games? So the developers plan out this kind of thing of where, like, oh, they're, they know the character already, obviously. So they know that he's going to do this, but the players don't. The other thing I want to talk about is when I was doing some research on patches, I noticed something very interesting, that he's called different names for each Souls game. He's the opportunistic trickster with strong animosity towards clerics. Wonder why. It could be that he has an aversion to religion, but I'm not sure on that one. Now, he's also the Unbreakable Patches and Amnesic Lap in Dark Souls 3, Patches the Hyena in Demon Souls, Patches the Spider in Bloodborne, and Patches the Untethered in Elden Ring. The Patches the Untethered had me almost giggling out of excitement. You want to know why? Because Patches the Untethered, when you are untethered, you're not tethered to a specific place or time. So that even proves my point further that he could possibly be a time traveler. He is untethered to any reality of the sorts. He is untethered to any sort of place or time or being. That's why he just happens to appear all of a sudden out of nowhere whenever we come across him. There's no lead up to his character. There's no cutscene. There's no nothing. He's just there. I also wrote in my notes that Patches is morally one of, if not the most important NPC of the Souls series. With there being different Patches versions, basically, you get different points of humanity. You get different versions of what different types of humans are like. You get humans who are opportunistic. You get humans who are greedy, who are selfish, who are morally corrupt in every way, shape, and form. You have Patches also showing a kinder, more empathetic side, but also a very manipulative side of where, he says to the player, you're not going to get any wares like this anywhere else. So you basically only have Patches as your only option. He's like, the toxic boyfriend of the Souls franchise. You see Patches and you see, oh, this character, he's manipulative, but he's also really happy to see the players. So I feel like there's that kind of nostalgic happiness that you get with seeing his character as well. I've talked a lot about Patches. I've talked about him in a psychologically Soulsborne series type video. Originally, I was planning to discuss this like a month or so ago, but I didn't have enough evidence at the time to basically go about saying why he is a time traveler. I have a little more to go on now, but it's very, I would say I am reaching whenever I say, oh, Patches is a time traveler, because it's not a well-formed claim. There could be so many different claims that would make so much better opportunities to be birthed into the world, but that's not what I thought of. Whenever I instantly heard him talk about, no one's going to be willing to push you into a hole like me, there's nothing I love more than a good fourth wall breaking, how minimal or maximal it may be. But whenever I see Patches the character, he is by far one of the best, if not the best NPC I've ever seen in any video game. He creates a relationship with the player character. He creates kind of this momentum of where he encourages the player to keep doing what you're doing, but also remember that they are still lost. They are still without a soul. They are still a part of this purgatory because they always come back to the Nexus. They always come back to Firelink Shrine. They are in purgatory doing the same thing over and over again with acquiring maybe different results, but until they break that loop, they're not going to achieve those different results anytime soon. See, this is the interesting thing about Dark Souls. Until you change your different play styles and until you apply different methods, you don't know which one is officially going to stick. That's why I feel like Dark Souls is purgatory in a sense, because you are waking up at the same place. You are waking up in Firelink Shrine. You are waking up at the Nexus over and over and over again until you get it right. I could go into another video on why I think the Souls series is basically a game of purgatory. I think that might be interesting to go into, but you have to let me know down in the comments below. Also, before I end this off, I think I triggered a lot of you with yesterday's video talking about Steam and Nintendo. With yesterday's video, I was playing devil's advocate. Okay, I have a part 2 that's going to be coming out this upcoming week of why it would not be a good idea for Nintendo or Steam to acquire the other. I feel like people took me a little bit too seriously, which, I mean, you know, that's my bad. It's the way that I presented it. But all in all, Nintendo should not acquire Steam whatsoever. It would be so bad for the consumer. It's not even funny, but I'll get into that in the final part that I'll be discussing next week. It's honestly amazing because whenever I posted that video, I was like, people could take this so many different ways, but I'm so incredibly happy that everyone in the comments section, even on Twitter, you know, had such a civil arguments with me and just were very, very civil in general. So thank you guys so much. But if you guys like my face and what I do, please be sure to hit the bell and subscribe down below. I make videos every day here on YouTube. May you find your worth in the waking world, dear hunter. Stay casually nerdy, and I will see you all in the next video. Umbasa.